Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today, a time of eclectic reading, sharing of perspectives, meditation, and prayer. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the newly joined Centers for Spiritual Living Communities of Greater Baltimore and Columbia. Today is September 19th. And this morning I'm reading from The Laws of Spirit, A Tale of Transformation. Powerful Truths for Making Life Work by Dan Millman, author of Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And I opened it up to page 25. The Law of Process, Taking Life Step by Step. Process transforms any journey into a series of small steps, taken one by one to reach any goal. Process transcends time, teaches patience, rests on a solid foundation of careful preparation, and embodies trust in an unfolding potential. What that immediately brings up for me is our tendency to plan, which is not a negative, not expressing that as a negative. Oftentimes it becomes our limitation. I know if I was living the life I planned, I would be living a life way more limited than the life that I am living. And so for me, that falls under that embodies trust in our unfolding potential. And as I understand creation, we are each infinite possibility, infinite potential, always unfolding forward, always advancing. That's what life does. And if I overplan from my brain, which only knows the past, then I limit my unfolding infinite possibility and infinite potential. And so it's a dance, right? It's a dance of knowing when to plan, how to plan, and then comes that teeter-totter of how closely do I follow the plan and how willing am I when I get a divine nudge that veers off the course that I've planned. Am I willing to trust that? Am I willing to take the risk to experience something bigger than I imagined? Am I willing to be more than I imagined I could be? Am I willing to let other people be more? Am I willing to let my business be more? Am I willing to engage in the growth of my community by supporting an idea of more that makes me nervous? Right? And I think for me, I know for me, that's the dance, right? It's that dance of balancing the step by step incremental unfolding without constricting it, without restricting it. And that requires spiritual practice. It requires things like this. It requires that when I find myself restricting, that I allow myself to even see that that's what I'm doing. And then to own, undefendedly own, that's what I'm doing. And then leaning into a greater experience. And there's lots in this physical realm that can be and is appropriately scary. the human level. I don't, I have no belief that says the autonomic nervous system, our fear system, is a negative. I'm pretty sure creation in all of its magnificence, if if it didn't intend for us to have that system, we simply wouldn't have it. And what I observe in nature all around me is that every living thing that has the ability to scurry away from physical danger does so. And does so unapologetically, except for us humans. I've never seen a deer have a conversation about whether or not it was an okay thing to run away from a wolf. Never seen a rabbit stop and have a conversation about whether or not it should run away from the dog or the hawk. It just does. And I think we can learn something there. I also don't see animals manufacturing fear that doesn't exist. So we can learn from that as well. So, none of this is a nice, tidy little script for life. And I think this whole thing that the law of process is offering us is exactly that, to get out of the script and into the process, right? To plan our small steps, to take small steps. And when we're stuck in the apprehension or fear of the enormity, bring it back to the moment. One step at a time, this moment. Because this moment is all I got. I can't be at the end of the experience. I can't be at the fruition of the goal at the beginning. I have to take the steps. And I'm remembering the phrase to just be on the path, trusting that the path is laid before us as we put our foot down. And I don't get to see the whole path, and sometimes I can't see around the turn. Step anyway. Trust that life is unfolding the path before me, as me, under me, in support of me, as I take the risk to lift my foot, and the path is laid as I put my foot down. And my experience is, it always is. If I just take the steps. So that is what's alive in me this morning. And I'm sure throughout the day, more will come up for me. I mean, that's the beauty of what we do here on Just for Today. We start with whatever comes up in the reading. And then I know for me, it kind of works me all day long. So I invite you to allow that same process for you. I'm going to read this again and then take us into our time of 5 minutes of meditative practice. And it's simply a time to practice being present with what is, to listen and maybe glean some direction for that next step. I will close us out at the end of the 5 minutes with a spiritual mind treatment, and then we will all be on with our day. Okay, here we go. Process transforms any journey into a series of small steps, taken one by one to reach any goal. Process transcends time, teaches patience, rests on a solid foundation of careful preparation, and embodies trust in our unfolding potential. bringing my full awareness, my full attention, my full intention to this moment, to this breath. I recognize it is the breath of life, breathing life as me. It is creation itself expressing itself, individualized as me. I recognize that this one is the only power there is, everywhere present, no spot where it is not. Unlimited, having no circumference, its very center must be everywhere present. And being one thing, it can have no oppositional power. Being one, it can never be divided against itself. Whole, perfect, and complete. The substance itself, whole, perfect, and complete, missing nothing. Infinite, changeless, nameless. Changeless because it already is everything. Nameless because names are limitations, and it is unlimited. Infinite possibility, pure potentiality, unformed, waiting to be expressed in form. Unseen substance, desiring to be seen, to be known, to be experienced. And so it individualizes itself in exquisite multiplicity, one of a kind, never to be repeated, individualized expressions of itself, never depleted one iota, never used up, and never separate from itself. And because it creates out of itself, it infuses its creation with itself. And so the very creative process that is creation itself lives, moves, and has its being within every element, every individualized expression of it, active at whatever level of expression it is expressing as. So knowing all of this, I know that I am that informed. I know that the creative process of life itself lives, moves, and has its being within me, is continuously expressing as me. That those desires that awaken within me to plan, to progress, to move forward, to express more, is the infinite nudging itself into expression. And so beyond allowing it, I invite it, I relish it, I cherish it. And I yield to it. I find within this human experience the courage, the vulnerability, the willingness to stretch, to expand, to grow, to trust the process of life, to be amazed, to be surprised at a life beyond what the limitations of my past thinking can imagine. I allow the path to be unfolded as I put my next foot down. And I am grateful. I'm grateful for the activity of creation, the doer within this triune nature. It is simply an aspect never separate from the whole, but is that mechanism within the machine of creation that simply creates. It simply receives the idea, receives the desire, and using infinite energy, infinite possibility, infinite intelligence, it puts it all together in a way that my human brain will never understand. And yet I see it everywhere I look. And I trust that the activity of law is always the activity of law, responding to every desire with an infinite, continuous yes, making it so. Unqualified yes, unquantified yes, uncoerced yes. Simply manifesting the mental images and pictures and desires that we hold, the beliefs that we hold. And so knowing that it's already done, I can celebrate. I can let go. And I can experience the full awe and wonder of life itself unfolding perfectly. So as the act of letting go, I step into a continuous awareness of what I am thinking. And I instantly release any thoughts that in any way would limit the full experience of the word fulfilled. I let it all go. I surrender to the magnificence of life unfolding on my behalf, as me, in me, through me. I let it all go. And I step into the yes of this day. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amin. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.